Who would have thought it? Farmer Grey was a horrid man. He had a bad temper. He was mean, and nobody trusted or liked him. He got worse and worse, and at last no one would work for him. Then, what a time he and his poor wife had, with the animals to feed, the stables and cowsheds to clean, and any amount of other farm jobs to do. Now, one spring, a little robin flew into the stable to hunt for a place to make a nest. She flew to a manger. No, that would be dangerous, for her nest might be eaten if she put it there. She flew to an old tin. Oh yes, that was good. But suppose it got thrown away? She hunted all around, and at last she found a very nice place. At least, she thought it was. She whistled to her little mate to come and see it. He flew into the stable. "Look," carolled the hen robin, "here is a place for our nest. Warm, cosy, the right size, and a place not likely to be seen by anyone." Where do you suppose this place was? In the pocket of Farmer Grey's old brown coat that he had hung up on the wall and forgotten. Well, who would have thought it? The cock robin looked at the open pocket with bright black eyes. "Yes," he said to his mate, "it's just the place for us. That pocket will hold all the grass roots, the leaves and the moss we use, and in this dark stable we shall be safe from weasels, stoats and jackdaws." So they began to build their nest in the pocket of the farmer's old coat. They made a fine nest. They wove thin grass roots together. They tucked up the holes with moss and dead leaves, and they found plenty of soft hen feathers from the farmyard to line the nest softly. They were very proud of it indeed. Robins always loved to nest in anything belonging to humans, and this was a fine place. Soon the hen robin laid 4 pretty eggs with red-brown markings. She sat on them day after day. Sometimes the cock robin took a turn too, so that the hen robin might stretch her wings. He brought her many titbits, and sometimes sang a little creamy song to her. They took no notice of the horses stamping in the stable. They got used to the hens coming in and clucking loudly. They were happy and peaceful, looking forward to the hatching of their pretty eggs. Now, one day, Farmer Grey got his coat soaking wet in a rainstorm. He took it to his wife and asked her to dry it. "Oh dear," she said, "what are you going to wear now? Your other coat's wet too. What's become of that old brown coat you used to have?" Farmer Grey frowned. What had he done with it? Ah, he remembered. It was in the stable, of course. It had been hanging there for months. "It's in the stable," he said. "I'll fetch it." Off he went. He came to the stable and looked round. "Now where's that coat of mine?" he said. The hen robin was sitting on her eggs in the pocket, and she heard him. Her small heart beat fast in fright. Oh, surely Farmer Grey didn't want his old coat now, just when her eggs were due to hatch any minute. Oh no, no! The cock robin was perched nearby. He ruffled up his feathers in fear. "What? Take the coat and crush the nest and break the eggs? Oh no, Farmer Grey. You are a cross, rough man, and nobody likes you. But don't do that." Farmer Grey saw his coat. "Oh, good. There it is," he said, and went over to it. The cock robin gave a loud warble, and the farmer looked round in surprise. What was the robin singing at him for? And then he suddenly knew the answer. He saw the nest in the pocket of the coat as it hung on the nail. Dead leaves and bits of moss hung out of it. A small hen robin, her red breast showing up clearly, sat in the pocket of the nest, her anxious black eyes looking trustfully at Farmer Grey. The farmer looked down at her. He frowned and put out his hand to take the coat. And then he looked into the robin's trustful eyes and remembered something. He remembered how when he had been a little boy, a robin had nested in an old boot of his father's, and how delighted he had been, and how sweet the baby robins had looked about the garden. He stood and thought for a minute or two. "Well, you could have my coat," he said to the little robins. "Maybe you need it more than I do." And with that, he went out into the yard without a coat on. The robins sang for joy. Farmer Grey heard them, and for the first time for years, his heart was warm. It was good to be kind to another creature, even if that creature was only a robin. He saw a man going by, and he called him. "My John, come and see here for a minute." The man came up in surprise, for it was seldom that Farmer Grey spoke nicely to anyone. The farmer took him to see the robin's nest in his old coat pocket. "Oh, that'll bring you luck, farmer," said John. "I need some," said Farmer Grey. "Here's spring come along, and I've no one to help me with the farm." John looked at Farmer Grey, and he thought, "Well, here's a man that everyone hates, and yet he's let the robins have his coat. He can't be so bad after all. I've a good mind to come and help him a bit." "Well, farmer," he said out loud, "I'll come and give you a hand when I've finished at Farmer Brown's over the hill." Farmer Grey was pleased. He went to the farmhouse and told his wife about the robins and about how John was going to work for him. "Those robins will bring me luck," he said, and he laughed. His wife was glad. She had been lonely without any friends to speak to. John came. He worked hard. He got another man to come. Everything went well. The robins hatched out their eggs, and baby robins fluttered in the old stable. Farmer Grey brought them mealworms, and they grew so tame that they would fly onto his shoulders. How proud Farmer Grey was then. He called all sorts of people in to see his tame robins, and that meant giving them something to eat and drink. Soon the farmer had plenty of friends, and he forgot to frown and grumble. "Here, wife, here's money to buy you a new dress and a new hat," said Farmer Grey. "We're making money. Things are better. We've got friends to help us. My word, those robins have brought me luck all right." "It wasn't really the robins," said his wife. "It was the bit of kindness in your heart, William, that made you spare the robins and their nest. If you had not had that bit of kindness, you would have had no good luck." And she was right, wasn't she? We make our own good luck. There's no doubt about that.